Okay, while I'm up here and Holly is going back to work on the eye up here, we decided to show you how the cactus is. As you can see, I'm not a bleeder and it isn't a problem so much. I keep it right. But the cactus, you notice, this is all starting to blend, where when you first looked at it, it looked like it'd be freckly. And we talked about the depth that she was going so that the inks would make on the... And see how nice the smoky feel, I was calling it, is coming out on that. And also the cactus, that we're pretty much done with all the color in the cactus, I think, because it's taken on that almost realistic look. We did talk a little bit about why we're leaving this and why I'm not concerned that it's kind of a jaggedy thing. We're doing an embroidered patch. So she'll do that, and then she'll add the little highlights that look like it's sewn onto the uniform. And we're going to get back to that before too long, but that's one of the reasons that we wait and have to do some healing in between. All right. The other thing that I wanted to talk about with the general things that you need to keep in mind before you get a tattoo, it's hydrate. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Because if your body is thirsty, it really, there's a number of different things that can happen on the subcutaneous level with the inks. Your body's trying to draw moisture in and everything. There's a lot of reasons why. And it's just as simple as make sure that you hydrate, 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 and you've had a lot of water before you hit the tattoo parlor. Okay. If Joe will go down by my feet. Right now, since I actually got Holly running a little bit before they were planning on it and hauling their stuff out because I wanted her to get working right away rather than wait. And so the particular chair that Holly has is just the one that she had that we can use. And what I wanted to show you folks is after the tattoo artist says, this is where I want to be, all right, I usually hook my feet like that and I stabilize the whole chair. All right, until she's ready to move. All right, if I didn't, as she's pressing on me to do different things, the chair's going to be wobbling. So if it's the kind of chair that we got here...
And if the needle moves, the ink moves.
Exactly.
Plain and simple.
If I cough, the needle moves. Most mistakes aren't really the tattoo artist. It's somebody sneezed or hit the chair or something.
Or hit the tattoo artist on accident. Bump the elbow.
Right.
Bump the wrist.
And so stabilizing your chair is a good thing, a good habit to get into. It's so second nature to me, I didn't even think to mention it earlier.
You mentioned pressure points.
And that's another good point. I've had training and had certified massage therapist and an acupressurist. Earlier on, you'll notice that I don't, would you turn that off, Holly? Okay. Earlier on, I had been talking about the fact that I'm very lucky that I don't get a lot of pain and stuff. Holly needed to work over some areas that were still kind of raw, and I just said, am I going to be in your way if I do this? And she said no. Because I'm an acupressurist, all I did was just sit right there and give light pressure as she worked, and the pain dropped by 90%. If you have a friend that's an acupressurist, or you can find your own pressure points, very often it may even be this far away. But if you can find that one spot, boy, for some reason it feels much better when I press on it. That happened to be the one for the eye. Then I had to move to this position when she was working the teardrops. And if you know someone that can show you how to do that and you know what area you're going to work, then it's a wonderful thing to think of. All right, we did the cactus. I had to keep some notes here, people. All right, now the other one is very important. We speak a lot about doing the outline first, mostly in the terms of it helps numb the area in there. But what we're really doing, and the tattoo artist needs, is he needs to build a dam around the whole piece. All right? And once they have a very deep line using like a three liner, they have to go deep. Once that dam's there, it helps the numbing. This part, I think I mentioned the faded sun. I chose to leave it undammed. If that man had put a black line around that 41 years ago when I got it, the orange would have held up. And I told him I wanted the more realistic sun. I'm willing to deal with it fading. But this is a good example. It's the same guy that did this. I messed with the color there, so ignore it. But it's the same guy who did this at the same time. And the black hasn't faded, all right? But that's the difference. If I had chosen to put a black line around that and have him dam it, the orange would have held. So anytime you're considering a tattoo and talking about letting the color flow in without the black outline, understand that this is the payback on that. You don't get nothing for nothing. Your ink will fade. But the damming is a real important step. And like I said, there's a lot of reasons why I don't worry about how ragged the dam looks or the initial outline, because very often the tattoo artist, that's following the contour of your bone and such, so the dam will fit it, and that's why it hurts. And that's a good example, like I said, of ink that was not dammed, and I did that on purpose as a conscious choice in the discussions with Bumpy when I first got this 41 years ago, I believe, 77.
What about the tattooist? Make sure the tattooist shakes up the inks.
Oh, well, yeah, that's more of a maintenance thing. What had happened was one of the inks that Holly was using was an older bottle. And as she was working it, she goes, it's not taking it. And then she realized that it was the age. So just a maintenance tip, basically, if you have old inks around and you toss them in a brass tumbler that the reloaders use to clean up the brass, and let them vibrate for a couple of days, you can really bring it back. It's not as simple as shaking it. I tried to compare it like when you make butter and you have to churn milk. There's a lot of stuff that happens on the chemical level where mere shaking it is fine if it's only been sitting a month or two. But if you have a long-term one, it will take extended shaking. And I think you can salvage most of the ink. I'll have to check. I'm not up on the inks of today. But so Holly has a few more bottles she identified as the older ones. And we're going to get set up with a vibrator so that we can see if they can be used.
Okay, you already covered what happens with...
It looks like the green's pretty good to go. It looks like that green is holding pretty good in that eyeball.
Most people would look at the green in there and it almost looks black to everybody right now. Holly and I are both looking at it from a standpoint that we were looking at the mix she chose and understand it. And I could tell you right now, people, when this dries, 2 weeks from now, when this dries out and we got it healing, you should really see a dark hazel green that's really cool. I wanted to go a little dark because my eyes often get that dark to forest green. I think we're going to end up with a few more lighter highlights than a forest green, but Holly knows just looking at it, even though it looks black, that we're done with the green. And I agreed with her in this case, based on the other end of it, being a needle expert. I could tell how deep she was going, whether she was using flats or a 5 round, and so I knew how much ink she was actually putting in. And she got that way from experience. I got that way from understanding what's happening under the skin, subcutaneously. And between the two of them, we both come to the same conclusion. What I see going on now is we're going to have to go back to the eyebrow. We worked it too hard with the ink that was stale, so we got to leave that alone. And I think she may have to redo the bottom line. But other than that, we're just about done here. And she wants to know if I want a little eyelashes or something. It's hard to be a male who wants a realistic eyelid, which has eyelashes. But automatically people are going to say, did your wife die? Yeah, exactly.
Eyebrows are just as good.
So, and we had to really compromise on the eyebrow, trying to keep it more like mine, but I also wanted to keep a more male feel to it. So it was a real fine line we're doing. But I think you guys will really be surprised that this black looking thing is going to come out a beautiful hazel. So everything else that we're doing and talking about is just working fine. I honestly, not just because we're friends, I haven't had one complaint about anything that she's done as a tattoo artist. And as you can see, I've had the opportunity to be worked on by quite a number of people. So when I say that her method, people look at the outcome, the art, and understand that a person's good or not. The actual method of how they handle it, how they stretch skin, your comfort level, and all of the other things that are really critical during the session, Holly's just excellent at. Very, very good second nature. Right at the moment I'm about to say, hey, I need you to back off, she's already lifting the needle and saying, I can feel the muscle twitching and such. So there's a whole art to that too, and Holly's really got that going on for her. If I think anything else, Joe, or if you got any questions.
No, sir.
All right, then we'll keep the series going. Because
Okay, guys, look. This is my logo.
Rubber stamp.
It's a rubber stamp. It says I love you to the moon and back. That's my logo. Don't forget it. Because when you see it, don't try to steal it. Because it's already been copyrighted.
Hey,
So have a good day.
I've got to throw this in because a lot of people don't really know Holly, and you'll hear her make comments about no poaching and things like that. I hope people understand that Holly isn't that way by nature. She has been burned big time by people stealing flash and stuff. I mean, she's been tremendously, as in the tattoo. The tattoo people know what I'm talking about.
Hitting the gut from a very good friend of mine.
When
Poached a piece of my art and then copyrighted it for herself.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I said, you know, she's actually had her original flash. She suddenly sees it online with someone else's copyright. And boy, I'll tell you what, with the net today, anyone who does that's really taking a chance, because as far as I'm concerned, anybody I even heard of in South America who did that kind of thing would never put an ink in my body. All right, so please excuse us if Holly's really hot on that, and understand it really, really comes from a lot of bad first-hand experience. So I'm sorry I got going on that. But that's all I can think of right now, Joe. You got any questions?
No, sir. You answered everything.
All right, Holly?
No questions from me.
All right, then I'm ready to refresh my coffee and hit a cigar and stuff. So until the next session, take care, you guys.